Do you want to know how long you have left to live after 70? Have you ever stopped to wonder what your body is trying to tell you about the time you have left? Are there invisible signs that can predict how long you will still live? What if you could spot those signs now and use that knowledge to live longer and better? Few people know, but the human body, especially after the age of 70, begins to emit small warnings, subtle details in everyday life that, when ignored, can go unnoticed. But when observed closely, they reveal a lot about their health and even their longevity. And you? Have you ever noticed any change in your walk, your appetite, or your willingness to socialize? It is not a matter of guesswork or guesswork. Scientific studies and clinical observations show clear patterns among people who live longer and better. In this video, you'll discover 10 powerful signs that can tell you how long you can still live, and most importantly, what you can do to improve each one. Let's get started. 1. What is your gut hiding about your longevity? You may not realize it, but your gut has a lot more to say about your health and your lifespan than you might think. It is not only responsible for digesting food, but also for maintaining the balance of the entire body. And here's a surprising fact. Scientists call the gut the second brain because of its direct connection to the central nervous system. Studies reveal that gut health is related to mood, immunity, and even the prevention of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. People over the age of 70 who maintain a healthy gut tend to have more energy, better ability to concentrate, and a lower incidence of chronic diseases. On the other hand, changes in the gut flora, such as frequent constipation, recurrent diarrhea, or persistent bloating, can indicate serious imbalances that deserve immediate attention. If you feel that your digestion is no longer the same as before, if there are constant abdominal discomforts or changes in bowel habits, do not ignore it. These signs may be telling you that your body is having a hard time absorbing nutrients, eliminating toxins, and keeping your immune system active. The gut microbiome, that is, the set of bacteria that live in your gut, directly influences your ability to fight infections, keep your mind clear, and avoid silent inflammation. What's more, a study published in the scientific journal Nature showed that long-lived people share a specific type of microbiota, more diverse, more active, and more resistant. The good news is that it is possible to recover and strengthen your intestinal health with simple attitudes, such as consuming more fiber, natural probiotics, and drinking plenty of water. Fermented foods such as yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut, as well as fresh fruits and vegetables, can transform the intestinal environment in a few weeks. So the next time you think about longevity, remember, the secret may be in your gut. He may be trying to tell you something right now. Are you listening? 2. Your walking pace reveals an unexpected internal clock. The way you walk may be revealing much more about your future than any blood test. Yes, the simple act of walking, the speed, balance, and steadiness of your steps can be one of the most reliable signs of how much time you have left to live. Studies published in the Journal of the American Medical Association show that older adults who maintain a good walking speed have longer life expectancy and better overall health. But what exactly does walking speed have to do with longevity? It's simple. To walk well, your body needs to be in sync. Heart, lungs, muscles, joints, nervous system, and even cognition work together to keep their rhythm steady and efficient. If one of these systems begins to fail, the speed of your walk slows down, sometimes almost imperceptibly. Have you ever noticed that you need more time to cross the street? Or that climbing stairs requires more effort than before? Maybe you're stopping more often during simple rides. These subtle signs may be the first signs of a loss of functionality in the body, and the most curious thing is that this often happens even when there is no disease diagnosed. It's the body talking before the exams. The good news is that this is a variable that can be improved. If you notice that you are walking more slowly, do not accept this as something natural to age. Incorporate daily walks into your routine, even if they are short. Try to walk at a steady pace, without haste, but with determination. Training the balance and strength of the legs also helps. Simple exercises such as getting up from the chair without support or climbing small steps already make a difference. And if possible, walk outdoors. Sunlight, fresh air, and a sense of freedom stimulate the body and mind, further reinforcing the benefits. Remember, the way you walk today can be one of the best indicators of what your life will be like tomorrow. Your body is walking, but where is it taking you? 3. Your posture may be screaming alerts that you ignore. Have you ever found yourself hunched over without realizing it? Or maybe you've noticed that your spine is leaning more forward when you walk? Posture, although often neglected, is one of the most evident signs of physical health and also of longevity. Research shows that changes in posture in the elderly are strongly associated with loss of muscle mass, imbalances in the spine, and, in more severe cases, increased risk of falls and even early mortality. An upright posture demands much more from the body than you might think. It depends on strong muscles, good joint mobility, coordination, and control of the nervous system. When you start slouching or walking with your shoulders slumped, it may indicate that your body is losing support and that your structure is slowly giving way to time. But why does it matter so much? Because this progressive curvature, known as hyperkyphosis, is related to breathing and digestive difficulties and a decreased ability to perform simple daily tasks such as getting dressed or carrying light objects. In addition, a compromised posture directly affects mood and self-esteem. When we bend over, not only does the body shrink, confidence also decreases, and with it, the desire to move, socialize, and stay active. It's a silent but powerful cycle. The good news is that posture can be corrected, or at least stabilized. Stretching exercises, strengthening the muscles of the back and abdomen, as well as activities such as Pilates or yoga, can help recover body structure and relieve pain. Another valuable tip is to observe the way you sit. Avoid chairs that are too low, keep your feet flat on the floor, and align your head with your torso whenever possible. If necessary, consult a physical therapist for a specific strengthening plan. Posture is the mirror of your aging. Correcting small deviations now can mean more vitality, less pain, and a longer, more independent life in the future. So, stop for a moment and notice how you are sitting now. Your body is expressing itself all the time. The question is, are you hearing what it wants to say? 4. The way you deal with stress could be shortening your life by years. Have you ever found yourself too worried about something that hasn't even happened yet? Or mulling over a situation from the past for days? This continuous tension, even if it seems common, may be silently acting against your longevity. Stress, especially after age 70, isn't just an emotional issue, it's physiological. When you live in a constant state of alertness, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In small doses, they are useful. But when this state becomes chronic, the body enters a progressive and dangerous wear and tear. Studies published by the National Institute on Aging show that seniors with high levels of stress have a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease, diabetes, digestive problems, and even dementia. In addition, prolonged stress directly affects sleep, the immune system, and the quality of social interactions. Fundamental pillars for a long and healthy life. But how do you know if you're being affected by it? Stress does not always present itself in the form of irritation. Sometimes it manifests as tiredness with no apparent cause, frequent muscle aches, changes in appetite, or a constant feeling of internal anxiety. The good news is that there are practical and effective ways to manage stress, even in later stages of life. Simple techniques such as deep breathing, guided meditation, or even a walk outdoors can rebalance the body and mind in a few minutes. Activities such as gardening, reading, and pleasant conversations also help release substances that promote well-being and reduce the impact of stress. Maintaining a routine with moments of pleasure and rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. The secret is not to ignore the signs. Recognizing when something is consuming you from the inside is the first step to change. Because, contrary to what many think, learning to deal with stress is not an emotional issue. It's a health issue. Ask yourself, how have you reacted to life's challenges? If the answer is, with tension, it may be time to slow down. Your body will thank you and may reward you with many more years ahead. 5. How long does it take your body to recover? The answer may surprise. Have you ever noticed that over the years, a simple cold takes longer to go away? Or that a small cut in the skin takes more days to heal? The time it takes your body to recover from illness, inflammation, or injury can be a direct reflection of your overall health and your life expectancy. This is because recovery does not depend only on medical treatment, but mainly on the body's internal ability to regenerate. The human body is a natural repair machine, but with aging, this process becomes slower, especially if there are other factors involved such as poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, chronic stress, or poor sleep. A study published in the BMJ, British Medical Journal, showed that the slow recovery from infections in the elderly is directly related to the fragility of the immune system and the presence of persistent inflammation in the body. What's more, this same study pointed out that people with a greater capacity for recovery, even after the age of 70, have lower rates of hospitalization and mortality in the following years. Now stop and think. When was the last time you had the flu, muscle pain, or infection? How long did it take for you to feel fully recovered? If the answer is longer than it used to, it may be time to take a closer look at your body. The good news is that this ability to recover can be stimulated. Strengthening the immune system through a diet rich in vitamins and minerals, staying physically active, sleeping well, and hydrating yourself are simple attitudes that make a huge difference. In addition, paying attention to the body's signals, such as prolonged fatigue, slow healing, or poor resistance to disease, is essential to act early and avoid complications. You may not realize it, but your recovery time is telling you in silence how your life force is doing. And when that strength begins to wane, it also whispers about how much lies ahead. So take care of your energy like you take care of time, because at the end of the day, it may be giving you clues about how much of it you have left. 6. The leg test. A simple challenge that can predict your life. Expectancy. Could you stand on one leg for 10 seconds without leaning on anything? It may seem like a silly test, but your answer can be directly linked to how long you have left to live. Several studies, including one published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, have found that the ability to maintain balance in one leg is a reliable predictor of longevity in people over the age of 65. But why? Because maintaining balance requires a combination of muscle strength, motor coordination, neurological integrity, and body perception, all working at the same time. When a person begins to lose their balance easily, even if they are still active, it can indicate the weakening of these vital functions. Imagine that your body is like a set of sensors. If one of them fails, such as vision, reflexes, or leg strength, stability is lost. And this not only increases the risk of falls, but reveals that the body is gradually losing efficiency and control. Have you ever felt insecure when turning quickly, putting on your shoes, or showering without support? These moments of instability are clear warnings that your balance needs urgent attention. But there is good news. Balance is trainable. With simple and daily practices, it is possible to regain firmness of movement and avoid future accidents. Activities such as standing with your eyes closed, walking in a straight line with your feet together, or practicing yoga and Tai Chi are excellent ways to strengthen your balance system. In addition, strengthening the muscles of the legs and core, abdominal and lumbar region, is essential to keep the body upright and stable. Taking a few minutes out of your day to do these exercises can make a huge difference in your mobility and safety. So the next time you're standing, try lift one leg and count to 10. If you swing or need to brace yourself, don't worry, but also don't ignore it. This little challenge may be the simplest and most powerful warning your body is giving you about the future. 7. Sleeping poorly only makes you tired, or can it age you faster? Do you wake up tired even after spending hours in bed? Or do you spend the whole night tossing and turning, trying to fall asleep? Poor sleep is not just a discomfort. It is one of the most critical factors for accelerated aging and disease risk in the elderly. During sleep, your body performs vital tasks. It regenerates cells, balances hormones, strengthens the immune system, and performs the so-called brain cleaning, eliminating toxins accumulated in the brain. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that people over the age of 70 who sleep between 7 and 8 hours a night with quality sleep have a lower risk of developing heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cognitive decline. On the other hand, sleep disorders such as insomnia, apnea, or fragmented sleep are linked to increased blood pressure, plaque buildup in the brain, and greater emotional and immune vulnerability. Now think, how have your nights been? Do you wake up often? Do you have trouble falling asleep? Or do you feel sleepy during the day? These signs should not be ignored. They indicate that your body is not recovering as it should. And this failure, day after day, accumulates and takes its toll. Fortunately, simple habits can significantly improve the quality of your sleep. Creating a consistent nighttime routine, avoiding cell phone or television screens at least an hour before bed, is already a great start. Avoiding caffeine in the afternoon, keeping the room dark and quiet, and seeking exposure to natural light in the morning are also powerful practices for regulating the body clock. Additionally, relaxation techniques like deep breathing, guided meditation, or listening to calming sounds can help your body slow down and prepare for rest. If even with these changes your sleep remains poor, it is essential to seek medical advice. Disorders such as sleep apnea are more common than you might think and can be treated effectively. Sleeping well is not a luxury, it is preventive medicine. It is during the night that the body rebuilds itself to face the next day. And when that reconstruction fails, aging accelerates. So, the next time you underestimate a bad night's sleep, remember, the quality of your sleep may be shortening or prolonging your years of life. 8. Being around the right people can be more powerful than medicine. Do you have someone to talk to when you need to vent? Do you feel that you are still part of something bigger, like a family, a group, a community? Or lately, have you been feeling more alone than you would like? The truth is, the quality of your social connections can be just as important to your health as what you eat or how much you exercise. Studies from Harvard University, which followed people for more than 80 years, show that healthy relationships are the strongest factor associated with longevity and well-being in old age. That's right. More than money, fame, or even genetics, it was the presence of stable emotional ties that contributed most to a long and happy life. Being isolated, on the other hand, can have the same negative impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, according to research published in the journal PLOS Medicine. Loneliness, especially in old age, increases the risk of depression, heart disease, dementia, and even early death. And the most dangerous? It is silent. Many people don't realize they're socially distancing until the effects are already in place. Therefore, it is essential to maintain bonds. You don't have to be surrounded by people all the time. But you need to cultivate at least some true relationships, ones where you can be yourself, laugh, talk, and share life. Participating in groups with common interests, visiting family members frequently, Resuming old friendships or even starting conversations with neighbors can already bring great benefits. If you feel withdrawn, know that this can change. Start slowly, with small interactions, and see how your emotional and physical disposition responds. Human exchange releases oxytocin, reduces stress, and activates areas of the brain related to memory and pleasure. In addition, friends and family are support in difficult times and encouragement on good days. They remind you that you're not alone, and that, in and of itself, has healing power. So, reflect. Who have you been connecting with lately? If the answer is almost no one, it may be time to take one step toward the other. Because sometimes, the hand that can give you more years of life is closer than you think. Just extend yours. 9. No hunger. Your body may be sending a cry for help. Have you ever noticed that you are eating less for no apparent reason? Or that you have lost interest in foods you once loved? Maybe you're feeling full faster or skipping meals often. These changes in appetite may seem harmless, but after the age of 70, they can represent an important warning sign about your health. Loss of appetite in the elderly is not just a consequence of aging, it is often a symptom. It can be associated with digestive diseases, hormonal imbalances, side effects of medications, or even the first signs of depression and dementia. And the most worrying, when you eat less, the body begins to lose muscle mass. This loss, known as sarcopenia, reduces strength, mobility, and independence, in addition to increasing the risk of falls, hospitalizations, and serious complications. A study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition showed that elderly people with reduced appetite have a higher chance of mortality in 5 years than those with preserved food. But it's not just the quantity of food that matters, it's also the quality. Often, when people feel less hungry, they end up resorting to easier, faster, and nutrient-poor foods. This creates a dangerous cycle: fewer nutrients, less energy, more fragility, and less desire to eat. Therefore, it is essential to pay attention to the signals that your body sends. If you have been eating less, have lost weight unintentionally, or feel weak frequently, seek medical advice. But there are also attitudes you can adopt at home. Creating a pleasant environment for meals, eating in company, varying the menu with natural colors and flavors, and including small portions throughout the day can help stimulate appetite. Prefer foods rich in protein, good fats and fiber, such as eggs, avocados, nuts, legumes, fish, and lean meats. Remember, eating well isn't just about maintaining weight, it's about maintaining life. Each meal is an opportunity to strengthen the body and renew its energy for the next day. And if hunger has disappeared for no clear reason, maybe it's time to ask, what is my body trying to tell me? Don't ignore it. This silence may actually be an urgent call for attention. 10. Is your handshake weaker? It can be a silent sign of your future. Have you ever noticed that opening a bottle or carrying a bag is more difficult, or that your handshake, which was once firm, now feels weaker? This seemingly simple detail, the strength of your hand, may be telling you a lot about your overall health and even your lifespan. Grip strength, as it is called by experts, is considered one of the most reliable indicators of vitality in people over 60. Studies published in The Lancet show that a significant reduction in hand strength is associated with increased risk of mortality, hospitalizations, and loss of functional independence. But why the hands? Because they directly reflect overall muscle strength, neurological integrity, and even cardiovascular status. In other words, a weak handshake can be the first sign of generalized muscle loss, circulatory problems, or even neurodegenerative diseases. In addition, weakening hands can limit autonomy in daily activities, such as dressing, cooking, taking care of personal hygiene, and keeping the house organized, and this, over time, generates a loss of confidence and even self-esteem. But there is good news. It is possible to reverse this loss with simple and effective practices. Start with exercises that stimulate hand and forearm strength, such as squeezing a rubber ball, using hand pins, or making twisting motions with cloths and towels. It's also important to include activities that involve the whole body, such as lightweight walking, gardening, or swimming. In addition, maintaining a diet rich in protein and antioxidants helps preserve muscle mass and cell regeneration. What's more, playing musical instruments, writing by hand, or doing crossword puzzles also stimulate the connection between mind and body, helping to keep fine motor function active. Your handshake isn't just a gesture of greeting, it's a window into your health. He may be silently showing how strong his body is inside. So the next time you greet someone, pay attention to the strength it conveys. It may be revealing how much vitality there is left in you, and how much of your story can still be written. Now that you know these 10 silent signs, it's time to look at yourself with more attention, more affection, and more awareness. Your body talks all the time. It whispers in the subtle changes, in the gestures of everyday life, in the way you sleep, walk, eat, interact, and feel. The question is, are you listening? Living past 70 doesn't have to be synonymous with decline, limitation, or fatigue. On the contrary, it can be a moment of rediscovery, of self-care, of transformation. And it all starts with small choices made every day. Maybe you've spotted 1 or 2 signs that caught your eye. Maybe you've realized you're on the right track. Or maybe you're now reflecting on what needs to improve. And that's okay. The most important thing is to know that there is still time. It gives you time to strengthen your muscles, to sleep better, to walk more steadily, to connect more with those you love, to adjust your diet, your rhythm, your posture, and your mind. Each new day that dawns is a new chance to write the future with more health, presence, and purpose. Because longevity isn't just about counting the years, it's about making every year count. Don't wait for life to alert you with pain or loss. Take care of yourself with the same zeal you would take care of someone you love deeply, because that person is you. And if there's something you can do now to live better tomorrow, the best time to start, it's today. So, get up with a will, embrace your rhythm, observe your body with respect, and make conscious decisions. After all, your future is not written in stone. It is in your hands, and you have more power than you realize to shape it with health, strength, and hope.